Hey everyone, we're back with more folklore. We've got every folk in the game, so it's time to do some quests that are for other things. And this may actually be one of my favorites, the Ancient Test. He says that, but it's kinda deceptive. We'll see why eventually. Well, I think we're certainly familiar with that mechanic. Yeah, that's the real milestone you have to hit. Having 3 minutes by the start of round 5. So basically, we're stepping into the first round of Netherworld Walk here. Capture as many pukas as possible at one time and get extra bonus time. So the strategy should be the same, just take them all down with Kraken. And it's about here that I notice the difference between this and Netherworld Walk. I start with a lot less time. And I'm not really making these captures quickly enough to matter. Capturing one puka basically extends the clock about as long as it took to capture it. So I've kinda screwed up right from the start. Coming back in, I had a much better strategy. We've gotten a lot of folk since Chapter 3. And Langalan continues to be way overpowered. But when you're racing against time, that's kinda what you need. Just wait for the pukas to gather into one place, smack as many of them as possible, and of course try not to waste too much time trying to get multiple ones at a time. If I can capture them, I might as well just go ahead and do it. You really start out tight time-wise, but pretty quickly you start to accumulate a bit. Those 20 bonus seconds don't look nearly as measly as they did when it was first described, do they? And here we come to the thing that I think makes this quest the most interesting. We get to choose which door we want to go through. Of course, we can do this quest as many times as we want and check out all the doors, but you gotta choose one path each time. Essentially, one of the doors is the second round of Netherworld Walk. So it's a familiar challenge, but once again, our time is pretty short. So I don't really have the time to concentrate too much on taking out Kilmul this early. I've got to absorb at least one Pori just to get some time on the clock. The good news is, that's not hard to do. Langalan is nice and powerful enough to take down most of these folks within a couple hits, and killing them doesn't take long at all. And just like that, we're over a minute. Of course, the big rewards come in the later rounds, so it's not like we're behind the curve at the moment. So now we get a choice of 3 doors. No thanks, that's okay. I've dealt with multiple Agars before. It's not fun. Yeah, I don't really want to mess with memory stones either. Well, hey, that sounds like really familiar advice. I think I'll take that door. It sounds like pretty much the same thing we did before. And if we're killing Thrumpin, I need to kill 15 of them with Scarab to level it up. Sounds like exactly the door I want to take. So the bonuses aren't really great, but it's probably the easiest of the doors. And we'll get a chance to see Scarab in action. I kind of like its attack pattern. I mean, you don't really get to see it all that much. It just sort of disappears, slashes everything it passes, and then reappears at the end for one final attack. But unfortunately, its attack isn't going to damage the answers at all, because, well, they're slash elemental. And I gotta be careful not to run out of time while I'm trying to take out the Thrumpin, so I do need to bring down at least one answerer. The nice thing is, it doesn't matter too much if I wait for them to be vulnerable, because with all three of them together, I can hit them with every Langalan attack. And there's an id I can absorb. Or not. Problem is, I'm not gaining all that much time for capturing each one. It's mostly once I'm done with the test that I get the real prize. Well, I guess it's just an extra 20 seconds, but its timer's not running down. And it's the final round in which we need to reach 3 minutes. Well, it does sound intriguing. So the Undersea door is pretty much the same as the things that we've been doing so far. Alright, so the Undersea door sounded the least complicated. See, now we're talking. Big rewards, big penalties that can be avoided. I do want to see what's behind the corridor, though. Yeah, the prizes are great, but it sounds like quite a challenge. Let's go ahead through the Undersea door. At least that one I know is folks I can deal with. I'll need something earth element to draw these guys out of the ground. Guess I should probably have gone for something with a bit more range. I'm actually more concerned about health than time right now. But we gotta get up to 3 minutes, and we've still got a long way to go. Especially since I gotta hit these Augusty enough to kill them outright. And if I can take down the Juruku first, might as well. Longalon just pretty much solves all problems. And at least the folks are kind enough to drop life drops once I get low enough. Just a couple more Juruku to deal with. And we've tangled with them enough to be familiar with their tricks. Not that familiarity really helps me beat them, but at least I know what to expect. And this one will give me 40 more seconds, plus 30 for completing the round, so if I take him down within the next 15 seconds, I should hit my target. Nailed it. I mean, just barely, but it's enough. Now I actually have to talk to the people in front of the doors to figure out what's behind them. I do want to see what's through the other door, but a fight with Levan sounds more interesting than pretty much anything else they could come up with. So there's no time limit no matter which door I take. I'm definitely going with Levan. I've fought plenty of Amaryllises before. Granted, I'm at about half health, so this is going to be even more of a challenge than it should be. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to play a bit more defensively than that. And try to take her down at a distance if I can. That spear is going to prove to be a problem. Especially since she doesn't really have a weakness, I don't think. I can hit her with anything. And sending her flying with Langalan probably wasn't my best bet. At least it doesn't seem too bad if I just keep my shield up until she attacks and then go after her with Langalan, which pretty much can't miss. It'll be a long fight, but I should be able to win. There we go. I've just got to hit her with something that does a combo attack and doesn't knock her off her feet. At least not until I've had the chance to do a bit of damage first. And now comes the tricky part. We're surrounded by Ulbir. And unfortunately, they're only weak to wind. So while I can damage them with pretty much anything I've got, I won't be able to draw out their ids. Like Belgai said, there's no id absorption in this fight. And with 3 targets, I really can't afford to take my eyes off any of them. So Levan's open, but while I'm attacking her, the Ulbir are attacking me. At least I managed to kill one of them. And if I can ever get to it, that gives me a little bit of extra health, but it's not much. And I always underestimate the reach of that spear. So alright, now it's back to one-on-one. And I didn't leave myself enough MC to block. So back to the test again for take 2. It's not going to be all that much different the first round. We've only got this one option. But I may be able to beat it a bit more efficiently this time. And what I'll do from this point is go through some of the doors that I didn't go through the first time through the quest, just so you can see some of the variety of the different tasks you can do to gain extra time. I think I may have had more time than that the first time through. Can't really remember. Actually, probably not. I think it was more in the upper 30s the first time. And another warning about breaking memory stones. Really, I think there's only one quest in which that's actually relevant. So it sounds complicated, but this is actually the easier of the two doors to go through in this round. At least if you've got Langalan handy. Or maybe Afang would work just as well, but here's the 6 Hawk. You capture them all at once, pick up a bunch of time, and then you've got 3 bullseyes. There are no barragers here. So all you really need to do is capture all 3 of these guys, you get tons of time, and then you've got 4 barragers that you've just got to kill outright. I don't remember whether any of my folks just needed to kill these guys, but Telenthera needs to kill bullseyes, and in this quest I wanted to capture them, not kill them. So, no karma upgrades for me this time. Still, I ended with plenty of time. And for the third test, let's go ahead and try the Agar room. So this door is kind of a gimmick. As long as you can capture an Agar while there's another one in the room, and consistently do it within 45 seconds, you can actually gain as much time as you want here. So we need to freeze him, hit him with Destroy Element, and just keep doing that until the red id pops out. And just make sure that we freeze the first one before trying to capture the second one. They sadly don't stay frozen for all that long. But by now, I'm actually pretty good at the balance captures, and Agar goes quickly. Of course, I don't really want to mess around with splitting them. Not right now, anyway. I mean, last time I got through the third round, I was barely over a minute. Now I'm well over 2 minutes. And of course, there's only one choice here. The other door that I was interested in the first time I came through. Yeah, Gladiolas are tough, but I've got well over 2 minutes. And the reward for beating this round is almost a full 3 minutes as it is. If you finish this quest by capturing the last Gladiolus, even if you're down to just your last second, you get 30 seconds for the Gladiolus and 160 seconds for the round. That's over 3 minutes right there. You're guaranteed to hit your target. The only hard part is actually killing 3 Gladiolus at once. And as long as you can make them fall apart, you just do a whole bunch of damage to them here. They spend a lot of the time stunned. And if you've got to kill the first 2, which I believe I'm going to have to do, and then capture the last one, you don't really need all that much time. That's 1 down, 2 to go. I just kind of want to be careful not to kill both of them. So while that was very close, it worked. And I got another karma to boot. So Gladiolus only ever gets stronger and never cheaper, but it gets really, really strong. And yeah, I think I'm going to have over 4 minutes when I'm done here. That's got to be enough time to be worth the top score. But we've already fought Levan, so let's go ahead and take on the Amaryllis this time. In worst case, I can't beat these either, and then I have to go through the quest a third time. It's really not that bad, it's pretty fun. But I need to absorb one more Amaryllis. Don't need to kill Amaryllis with anything, I don't think. Need to score kills with a Lonodite. Probably not going to happen here. Let's just get a couple of fire attacks ready. Because I don't think Amaryllis really respond to anything else. And as we discovered in the last quest, Agapanthus is really good for fighting flying Amaryllis. Durandal's great if you can hit them, but they don't spend a lot of time close to the ground for that. Of course, with 3 of them, Durandal's probably the best option just because I can hit 2 or 3 of them at once with every attack. And it's pretty tight quarters in here, even though it's a nice wide open room, because they've all got different attack patterns going at the same time. They can fill a heck of a lot of space. And even if you've got a folk targeted, sometimes Keats just faces off in some random direction when he fires Durandal. It seems to be just Durandal, though. And I guess I've seen it happen with a couple of other folks, but most of the time, you're facing the folk you're targeting. Sometimes you're just not. I think one of them's already dead, and I didn't even notice. I mean, yeah, they're probably one of the tougher, non-boss type folks in the game. But they're still not really all that hard. And I think that's probably the best Amaryllis capture I've ever had. It's worth a rank up and a karma. So what, you need more than 4.5 minutes to get the top reward? That doesn't seem fair. It only said 3. Of course, that's not actually the trick. But I think we're going to have to save what the actual way to get the top score is for another time. I'll see you next time for a different quest.